Cops need to understand that not everyone is too scared to stand up for themselves. Make sure to watch these videos till the end, as these officers definitely picked the wrong people to harass.
That's the attitude that gets you people in trouble, douchebag.
The officers stopped this man claiming he had crossed a law, but they had no idea they were confronting someone who knew it better than they did. What happened next exposed their lack of judgment.
Your license and registration on you?
What's the problem?
I'm stopping you because you came across the line there and you're blaming your...
I came across the line?
Yes.
You see that camera right there?
Okay, you're being audio and video recorded right now.
You were on my side of the road.
Actually, I wasn't.
Bullshit.
Okay. Do you have your driver's license?
Yep, I do. And I can't wait to give it to you. You got a name there, officer?
Yep, my name is Officer Mills.
Okay.
Police Department.
Yeah. How's that moron Strand doing?
Do you have a registration?
Probably, but
Okay, can you get it for
the
me?
car's registered to me.
Okay, can you get the registration?
I'm sorry, I refuse. You
have to produce all paperwork or you just get a ticket for it. If you don't
Well,
produce a registration,
first
that's
off, officer, let me shut this vehicle off so there is no misconstruing my intentions here. And I'm putting this back in my pocket.
Okay.
I don't have any weapons. Let's get something straight. First off, you were on the wrong side of the road. That's going to verify that. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is, you're violating my 4th and 14th Amendments because you do not have probable cause to stop me. Which means,
This officer was trusted with a badge, a gun, and the power to enforce the law, yet he couldn't even recognize his own misconduct. The irony couldn't be more alarming.
Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Here, if you'd like to shine your light in here, I think it's in here.
You have to produce it, sir.
That's what I'm looking to do.
Produce your paperwork, it's a ticket.
Well, then give me a ticket because you know what?
Okay.
When I go to court and I produce it, your ass is mine.
Good luck.
Okay, keep smiling. That's the attitude that gets you people in trouble, douchebag.
Officer Mills pretended not to understand the situation and then blatantly abused his position of authority. His actions speak volumes about the misuse of power. Well, this guy humbled the cops pretty quick, and these next UK cops weren't any different either.
So why'd you wear the thin blue line badge then? Part of the gang? That's part of your policy. You don't even know your own policy.
In September 2022, an auditor named Free Times Audits was out filming in a public place when the owner of a business facility called the cops on him. Within minutes, multiple cop cars arrived, clearly prepared to intimidate him.
All I was, you've just ruined my shop.
Oh, sorry. Yeah?
Yeah?
What are you doing here today?
What does it look like?
Well, I can see you standing here filming. Is that all you're doing? What is it you're filming today?
For the minute, them.
Him? Just
No, not him. The gatehouse.
Oh, the gatehouse?
Yeah, because I was just walking up and down taking pictures.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping to get a police car with the blue lights coming out.
Yeah.
I've got that now, what you spelled the shot anyway.
Okay.
And the gentleman come out and committed a Section 5 public order offence.
Okay, what happened?
He said I'm not allowed to film,
Yeah.
and I explained to him I'm on a public road,
Yeah.
so I can film.
Yeah.
And he called me an effing idiot, and it's all on film.
Right, okay. The gentleman in the...
Yeah, he had a security coat on with a big beard.
Right, okay. And you've got that on film?
I have, yeah.
Okay. What, are you wanting us to do anything about that? Were you planning on reporting it, or...?
I've just reported it to you, haven't I?
Right, okay. Were you planning on reporting it? Sorry.
Yeah, well, I only hung around because he said he was going to phone the police.
Right, okay.
So, obviously, I waited for the police.
Right, okay.
Took you a while, though. The station's only there, isn't it?
The auditor hoped that these cops would side with him and do some action against the business owner, but he had no clue what would be the next step by these tyrants.
Can you identify yourself, please?
Okay, right. At the moment, obviously, I'll deal with what you've just reported to me. Okay,
Yep.
we'll take that into consideration. But we've had a report before anything of that has come through that there's been a male walking around with a balaclava on.
It's not a balaclava.
Okay, that's the report we've had. Okay,
Right.
because you are matching that description.
Yep.
I'm detaining you for a stop search under Section 1 of PACE. Okay.
Really?
Based on the fact that that sort of equipment. Okay.
So what's your reasonable grounds?
My grounds are
That I'm wearing a balaclava, which isn't a balaclava.
Okay, you match the description. You are covered in your face. Okay. So
It's cold.
we're looking at offences such as theft, going equipped, that sort of thing.
Okay.
That sort of equipment can be used for that.
Right, so what are you looking for then, particularly?
So any equipment any further equipment that can be used in the course of conducting an offence such as theft or going equipped, okay?
Alright.
So because
You do realise you'll get a civil claim over this?
Okay, that's fine.
This is exactly why the public loses trust in cops, as this innocent individual was being targeted for something he never even did.
I'm quite a small female and you're quite big. I'm going to place you in handcuffs because you're no risk to me, okay? So
Right, does it have to be a male? You're not stopping recording?
You can have cuffs on by anybody.
Yeah.
If you want a male to search, we'll arrange a male to
We've got a male on the way, okay? So I'll wait for him to come and search you, so that's fine.
Yep.
Okay. So as I said, the search is under section 1 of PIN.
I notice you've all got the thin blue line on, the gang badge.
Yeah, I'm just going to put my mask on.
Yep, you just agreed to it then, yeah. Well, it does. Look at your nails, you nearly scratched me with them.
Use a weapon, can't they?
Can they? What, when I'm in handcuffs? I can assure you now I'm going to cooperate. I don't agree to the search and I don't consent to the search, I'll make that
You
clear.
don't have to consent.
Okay, I've detained you in section 1 case, you don't have to agree to it. It's
Yeah,
not a
no.
voluntary thing, okay? Right, will you want a copy of the stop search record?
Yes, I will.
But as
I'm
you
not
can
gonna get
imagine,
far, am I?
A lot of people say the same thing, don't they? A lot of people say they're going to cooperate with them, so...
Being in a public place with a face covering was the only offense this poor guy committed, yet these officers continued to waste taxpayer money, stalling on scene as they waited for a male officer to arrive.
What's your name, sorry, just so I can...
I don't give my name.
Okay. So I need it to complete the form, and also if you want to process your complaint about the public order thing, I'll need your details anyway.
Right. You can just call me FT.
FT, okay. I'm
Yeah.
going to need more than that if you want me
No.
to deal with that complaint.
No.
Because I can't deal with that.
So
if
you don't
give
want to
me
make a
details.
complaint about the Section 5 public order offence, because you would need to give your details as a victim.
Alright, so if there's a murder and the person's dead, how do they make a complaint? Do they give their name? I don't think so.
That's quite a different situation.
Is it?
And we generally identify...
Right, we're getting on with this search. We've got better things to do than stand here talking around to you
Well, you
muppets.
didn't have much better things to do because you were standing here filming, weren't you?
Get the grounds to search, explain to you and everything.
Well, yeah, apparently they're looking for, what is it you're looking for? Crowbars?
That could be used in the
Wow.
Check over.
I have been offered a copy of the search. You don't need my name for that though.
Right.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Just going to give you a quick search now.
Yeah.
Just like my colleagues and stuff.
There's a glove in that pocket.
Just need to...
Yep. Yep.
Just so I can see any inside pockets. or
Yeah,
anything.
there's one there, yeah. It's just, dog poo bags in there, I think. There's no dog poo in them, don't worry.
I've probably got dog poo bags in every pocket, every coat that I own. So these aren't pockets.
No, it's just one there. It's got like a zip on the top and a zip on the side. You can open it at the side and have a good look in if you want.
Oh, is that the same pocket?
Yeah, it's the same pocket. Just
The officer proceeded to search the individual and, as expected, found absolutely nothing.
and I've not stolen them.
Sorry?
Them dog poo bags, I've not stolen them.
Right, okay.
I'm going to move pocket. Just car keys. Can you go and have a word with him though for the public order offence?
Are you wanting to make a complaint about that? I can go and just give him words of advice. if
Words
that's
of advice I'll do, yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And will you just let him know that I'm going to be continuing to film?
Yeah, that's fine, I'll let him
Yeah?
know.
And I've got every right to do so?
No pockets on you.
I don't know, I think it's just that, you can have a good look, I think it's just that one. There's nothing on my jaw.
Eventually the handcuffs were off, and you'd be shocked to see how poorly the auditor had been treated on a mere call. This is what you get for filming in public in this country.
It's the top cuff's going to come off first.
Shouldn't have been put on really, should it?
When you're detained for a search, it's the officer's choice whether to put you in handcuffs, but they are legally allowed to do so.
We'll see. So you can witness the markings on my hand?
Yep.
I'll go towards the... Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4 police cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 police officers. We all constables. No detectives here, is there? No inspectors. Couldn't detect anything, could they?
Free Time's audits, however, continued to film the public around, much to these cops' dismay. Watch as they continue to lose their minds over something perfectly legal.
I might do later. I might film all these registrations in here as well. Alright. I'll probably just put them on the internet. What? Because I like taking videos and putting them on the internet.
Registrations of the vehicle.
It's not illegal though, is it?
film whatever you want.
Exactly. Which one's your car? How much extra do you get a day then for a taser? Nothing? Nothing at all?
No.
I thought you got like a little 50p a day extra or something like that. So why'd you wear the thin blue line badge then? Part of the gang? Do you know more people, the public, have died in police custody in the last 30 years than police officers have died on active duty in the last 100 years? Where's your badge for that? Silence. Do you feel proud today? Done a good job today? Go home and tell the children.
Advise you that your actions could be construed as hostile reconnaissance towards terrorism.
What? I just said you've done a good job today.
Police personal vehicles.
Hostile.
For the purpose of putting them on
Terrorism.
whatever reason.
Oh, go on, keep digging that hole.
Hostile reconnaissance and terrorism offences.
Hostile. If I was hostile reconnaissance, I wouldn't be overt, would I?
No,
I'd be
you don't understand
covert.
what hostile reconnaissance means. It's all right.
You're allowed to do reconnaissance. If I wanted to, I could map all this ground.
It could be construed as committing hostile reconnaissance for terrorism offences. I'm just making you aware.
Right, okay,
of that.
let me make you aware of this. If you think I'm a terrorist, you should leave me alone and contact the anti-terrorism squad. Because if you thought I was a terrorist, you wouldn't all come up to me like this, would you?
What I said was, your actions could be construed as hostile reconnaissance.
I've had enough of you now, off you
terrorism
pop.
offences.
Not talking to you anymore, talk rubbish. Oh yeah, I know you can. But I can tell you to off your pop.
The auditor was relentlessly grilling these corrupt cops, turning the entire encounter into a complete mockery of their authority.
Anybody filming? Yeah? Oh, you're supposed to tell me at the first available opportunity. As part of your policy. You don't even know your own policy. Oh, dear, dear, dear. You've been alright, mate. You've been sound. Can you just inform him that if he swears at me again, I will press charges?
You're watching too much American TV, you don't press charges.
Alright, then I'll file a claim.
Do you want your coffee?
Yes, I do.
There you go. Right, he's having a word with him, okay? We'll leave you to it. But
Should have left me to it in the first place.
no weird grounds to stop and speak to you.
I don't think you did.
Okay, that's fine.
This might be one of the worst police encounters you'll see, but these corrupt officers were handled expertly by the auditors and should have walked away with a much needed lesson in the law. Before the officer could say a word, the citizen was already on the phone with his attorney. Checkmate.
He can talk to you after the traffic stop,
He has the
man.
right to have his attorney present during any questioning by police.
This individual gets pulled over, and the moment he gets pulled over, he immediately FaceTimes his lawyer, something the officer clearly didn't expect. What happened next caught everyone off guard.
I'm not talking to you. Who are
I'm
you?
his attorney, sir.
Okay, well, he can talk to you after the traffic
He
stop,
has the
man.
right to have his attorney present during any questioning by police.
Hey, for just a minute here, you said you've had nothing to drink this evening.
Hello, officer.
Have you had anything?
Hello.
I'm not talking to you. Who are
I'm
you?
his attorney, sir.
Okay, well, he can talk to you after the traffic
He
stop,
has the
man.
right to have his attorney present during any questioning by police.
That's fine, but I'm not going to talk to you right now. All right, so what I'm going to need you to do is perform a couple steps or a couple tests for me, okay?
Field sobriety tests are
Yeah,
voluntary, sir.
Ma'am, I'm not
I'm
talking to
talking to
you.
my client.
The officer's frustration was obvious once he realized the attorney's presence left him powerless. His power tip ended rather quickly. Moving on, we have a unique case where an attorney takes a corrupt cop to the cleaners.
By your theory, you wouldn't be able to arrest him on a kidnapping charge too.
Well, it's not my theory, it's the code.
In November 2024, Judge Fleischer came across a case which appeared quite straight, but he had no clue that the officer had made a mistake, and the defense attorney was fully prepared to expose it.
You're Trevor Flores.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Upon contact, the officers observed an odor of marijuana. The officers asked the defendant to step out of the vehicle and asked whether the defendant had marijuana inside. The defendant admitted he did have marijuana inside, as well as a firearm. During the search of the vehicle, the officers found a handgun in plain view on the driver's side floorboard, not in holster. And the officers also located 13 grams of marijuana under the passenger seat.
Got it. All right, Mr. Flores, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case.
The court-appointed attorney was about to make a claim so unexpected, it even left Judge Fleischer stunned.
Unlawful carrying of a weapon following a traffic stop, and I've got a map that is kind of intriguing. I think you'll find just with the way it's drawn. But he stopped by an officer with the City of Bel Air Police Department, and may I approach to just show you this delineation over going northbound on 610 as he, what is described as makes an unsafe lane change. So he's northbound on 610, wants to get on 59 to go southbound, is erroneously in the wrong lane going northbound. The officer says that she has observed him makes that unsafe lane change, and that lane change is outside of the City of Bel Air Police Department jurisdiction.
According to the attorney, the nature of the stop was unlawful, making the entire traffic stop illegal and grounds for immediate dismissal of the case.
A particular statute that governs whether officers can have the authority to make a detention of someone when they are outside of their jurisdiction, and that's 14.03 of
their PD can still stop someone outside of Bel Air.
Well, not for, well, according to the code, it says a peace officer.
That would mean that any officer outside would never be able to do anything.
No, that's incorrect. There's a very limited exception, and that's what applies in this case. So it says a peace officer who's licensed and is outside of the officer's jurisdiction may arrest without a warrant a person who commits any offense within the officer's presence or view other than a violation of Subtitle C, Title 7 of the Transportation Code.
That was a sharp and well-crafted argument by the attorney, especially impressive considering he had only a few hours to prepare.
But when it's for a traffic offense, that officer is required.
He's not arresting him for a traffic offense, though.
Well, that was the basis for the stop.
Sure.
But the way the code contemplates arrest, it's any, and that's defined in, I think, in chapter 15. And so this officer doesn't have the ability where that stop takes place to make that detention. That officer could detain him if he saw him committing theft, could detain him if he saw him committing an assault, can't for a transportation code
but
violation.
he stops him for whatever reason it is, right? Comes up to the car and he smells marijuana.
Yes.
Right?
Well,
and then
that's
don't they even get a drug sniffing dog? Is this the one where they get...
It's not often that you see Judge Fleischer in such a state, and a clear reflection of how corrupt cops constantly try to intimidate the public until someone finally pushes back.
My focus is solely the detention. I'm not...
It's certainly crafty. It's great. But he's not arresting him for the traffic offense.
Well, but I think we're looking at a limited scope of what arrest means. So I think you're looking at arrest as in being arrested.
You would be saying that really if he had committed an ag rob, right, or kidnapping, then even if he had kidnapped, like let's say he had a 2-year-old child in the car that he had kidnapped across state lines. Well then, according to this, because he's in a different jurisdiction, then he couldn't arrest him on that kidnapping charge too.
He saw a kidnapping taking place. The officer could arrest him under that code. But what he can't do is when there's a traffic code violation, we don't allow for example, the El Paso Police Department to come to Houston and then sit on the street corner and arrest people for traffic violations. We don't allow them to make those stops.
The judge genuinely appreciated the attorney's effort and stated that he would be looking into the matter further.
The peace officer who's outside of his jurisdiction, able to enforce the traffic code.
I know where you're going and I've seen it before, but I'm not.
And we're looking at G1, Judge. What it says in there is 5600, 610 northbound. And what's so curious about this is...
That's still in Bel Air? Is it outside of Bel Air?
That would be outside of Bel Air too.
I can't make that determination now.
Fair enough.
Number two,
yes,
he's not arresting him on a traffic offense.
Well, and I think what the code contemplates when it says arrest, and I think there's case law on this, is that it includes the concept of detention as that's been... Because I think when that code was written...
And so what I'm saying would apply as well, though. Like if he catches a 2-year-old kid, right, that's been kidnapped, by your theory, he wouldn't be able to arrest him on a kidnapping.
The judge initially tried to dismiss the argument, but the attorney firmly pushed back, stating he was simply following the rules and citing the legal code.
It's not my theory, it's the code.
If he has a dead body in the car, You wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, that's a legislature question. And I mean, but they wrote that.
I can't imagine that the legislature intended that. I think that they intended for, yes, for a traffic, let's say for speeding, right? Or your tail light is out. Yeah, not to arrest in that respect. But he goes up to the car, smells marijuana, sees a gun in plain view. I can't imagine the legislature intended in that purpose.
And my position, of course, is that, this may be for a motion to suppress later down the line, and I think there's still plenty more to do in the case.
It's a freaking awesome argument.
But the idea
I love
is,
Mr. Wonderful.
no right to
right?
detain him.
Right? Really?
This attorney surely has a long way to go, as you don't often see appreciation of such order by Fleischer. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today we saw several cases where corrupt and abusive officers targeted the wrong individuals and ended up getting completely owned for it. Thanks for watching. Please support the channel by subscribing, leaving a like, and comment if you want more like this.
Actually, we can trespass you from here. They can. Yes, I can. Give it a try then. All right, let's be done with that.